But then I was still looking for jobs, and I found one in New Orleans. No description, summer jobs to defend the Gulf. So that sounds good. Did a phone interview in 10 minutes. Told I was hired. I was hired. I was like, well, gee, that was easy. And so I moved back to New Orleans to take the job, and kind of then discovered that it was a canvas job for Gulf Restoration Network. Did that for about 4 or 5 months, however long the canvas lasted. Met some great people, talked to thousands of folks at their door. Canvassing is really the best way to get started in environmental work. It's tough, it's not for everybody, it's difficult. I'll be honest, I had guns pulled on me when I was in Metairie. Canvassing in Louisiana can be really tough sometimes. But it's a great way to sort of, it's baptism by fire. And starting those conversations with people really starts to build the foundation for doing any kind of work. Because that's ultimately what this work is building relationships. So that was over, and then a few months later, a job popped up for Sierra Club Delta chapter. The Delta chapter had a little extra money. They weren't doing so great as a volunteer organization. I applied for the job and I got it. And I've been doing that for 4.5 years. Last year, or really about 2 years ago, I started working on this coal issue. The national organization started paying attention to some new permits and started paying attention to the fact that all these coal terminals in the Gulf were expanding overnight really rapidly. And because we had been fighting coal export terminals in the Pacific Northwest for several years, the folks in our law program in San Francisco wanted to make sure that, we weren't pushing coal terminals out of one region only to push them into another. And so they found out that the Delta chapter had me on board. The Delta chapter was running out of money, so they worked out sort of a little sweet deal where they'd help pay for my position if I would do some coal work. And so it was half and half at first. And now I'm actually a full-time national employee working for the Beyond Coal campaign for Sierra Club exclusively on this campaign, on coal exports in the Gulf. Right now our priority is to stop this new RAM terminal. Because it's a lot easier to try to stop a new terminal than fight existing ones. And also this terminal is there's so much at stake. It's not just the direct impacts, it's not just the climate change issues here, but this terminal is also slated to go next to the largest restoration project in Louisiana's master plan. And, one of the only optimistic, hopeful things that we have going on in Louisiana is a good plan to restore our coast. If we don't put that plan into place, we can all kiss our butts goodbye. Might as well move to Arkansas right now. And so, this number one priority restoration project, if it's going to be put at risk already, if we're already selling out our master plan, then that doesn't say a whole lot about Louisiana's potential to be a sustainable place for anybody to live. So this is a really important fight to fight. There's so many things wrong with this daggone coal terminal. There's so many things wrong. It's just really absolutely insane. This is where it gets back to working in the Gulf South. And no other place in America would there be such a ridiculous proposal even floated. Nowhere else would people be audacious enough to say, sure, we'll stomp out a historic environmental justice, social justice community, a community that didn't even get running water until 1980, a community of freed people that have this tiny little parcel of land that they're trying to preserve for future generations. Well, we're perfectly fine with stomping that out. We're perfectly fine with stepping all over your restoration plan so that you can even have a state to live in. We're perfectly fine of contributing to climate change in the most vulnerable place for climate change in all of America. No other place will even be that audacious to even suggest such a ridiculous plan. Look at this train bridge. This thing's all rusted. It's about to fall down. They're gonna run coal trains over this thing. It's just really, it's insane. It's insane. And only in Louisiana will we even have to fight something like this. We should be fighting battles for better things. There's a lot of things wrong in Louisiana, in the Gulf Coast area. And the fact that we even have to fight such a ridiculous proposal is a testament to the difference between environmental work down here and environmental work in other places. I would love to be working to preserve wilderness areas and create national parks and do those kinds of things. We won't ever get around to doing that work if we've got to fight silly projects like this all the time. So why do I do this? This is my home. I love this place despite all its flaws. You know, Louisiana is I feel like this state is like a person. You know, it's my family. The place is my family.